Alrighty, welcome back to the PA High School Football Report. We are sponsored by OSS Health. PennLive scribe Eric Epler alongside junior scribe, because they call me senior scribe.
Yeah, I guess I'm a junior.
Old, young, we'll call you junior scribe. Dan Sostek.
Yeah.
Back in the belly of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
PennLive HQ, way in the basement.
Yep.
I mean, we are, 200, 300 feet down?
I saw a couple mole men walking around. They said, "What's up,
mole men?"
Yeah.
Well, you were not blessed with the experience of being in the basement of our old building.
I've heard some stories about it.
Yeah. You know what a feral pig is?
I can figure.
They run loose in Texas. They break down fences and they eat everything and they kill things, and that was the size of our rats. Yes. At 812 Market Street.
Doesn't surprise me if it was downtown. It was downtown, or is it?
It was right by the train tracks.
Right by the train, yeah.
Across from the post office, right by the train tracks, and an underpass that in 1972 in the Great Flood of Harrisburg.
Probably some mutant turtles down there too.
There's a lot of neon juice near the tracks.
The
ooze, yeah. The city ooze. That's exactly what it was.
That's what created the teenage.
So at least this building's fairly new, but down here it's a lot of concrete, a lot of silence.
Oh, if World War III happened while we were recording a podcast,
this would be a perfect place to be. Yeah,
so
you just need a couple MREs, some coffee. We're good to go.
Just always record a podcast.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
No Panthers, no Pitt Panthers.
No, best week of being a college football fan is a bye week. But I did get a chance to catch up with a couple Pitt Panthers when I covered the Harrisburg game. Sean Lee Jr. and Justin Cook were at the game. Got a chance to chat with them for a story coming a little later this week. Just talking more generally about how both of them kind of different adjustments, right? Justin Cook coming from East Stroudsburg to an ACC school, switching to running back from wide receiver. And then Sean Lee obviously coming from high school Milford Academy to Pitt, where this week he was actually just officially named on the depth chart. They moved him up officially as starter because he's been playing lights out.
He has been playing lights out.
So that was the only Pitt related stuff. Other than that, most of my Saturday was spent watching some Cougar football.
Yeah, Harrisburg, another big win, 5-0. It's hard to believe we're week 5 here. I just to keep in the college team, we're struggling a little bit at my alma mater, the Factory. But
how do you pronounce the town again?
It's Ypsilanti. You don't pronounce the Y. The Y is an I. Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti.
Yeah. If you say it wrong, they get really, really mad at you.
That's not fair.
I don't know why. I never understood that when you pronounce.
Yeah.
I had a smart as a whip social studies teacher, or no, I'm sorry, writing teacher, and he said, "Listen, there's no wrong way to pronounce a proper name." That's what he told me. So you want to say it Ypsilanti? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a problem. But we did get a dub.
Oh, there you go.
31
over who?
Louisiana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was good. Rage Cajuns. Hey, whenever you can beat the Rage Cajuns at the Factory. For those who don't know,
just quickly say Louisiana. People are like, oh, LSU, no.
Right? No, we don't want to play LSU. Yeah. No, that would be a 3 ambulance. Not good. All right, just throwing that out there. All right, anyway, let's break down what's going to happen over the next 30 minutes or so. Obviously, we're at the midpoint of the regular season. Hard to believe. Week 6 is on the table. That means we kind of get a chance to look back the first 5 weeks of the regular season. We're going to do some superlatives. Maybe name some division MVPs right now, not end of the year.
Yep.
Guys who are in the mix for an MVPs. We're going to do some storylines, and we're going to break it all down by mid-pen division. So 4 chunks at the Apple, and we're going to get going that too. And we are thrilled. In a little while, shortly, we expect to have Twin Valley head coach Brett Myers joining us. We'll talk Raiders football. If you've just been focused on the mid-pen and not District 3 as a whole, Twin Valley's pretty good.
Yep, 5-0 again to start the year, second straight year. And last year they ended up facing a mid-pen team in Susquehanna Township and beat them pretty handily. So they're a real legit threat in 4A. That's kind of the area you look to if you're a Susquehanna Township. Obviously West Perry had some battles with Wyomissing in
That's right.
past couple of years. That you kind of always look to that LL area to see who's going to be the team you're getting in that 4A championship game.
And there is an unbelievable storm coming in week 8 Twin Valley takes on Wyomissing.
Yeah.
That will be a showstopper.
I heard Taylor Swift might even show up.
I hope.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift she's from that neck of the woods.
I mean, Travis Kelce doesn't have anything better to do. He's not catching many passes.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Mahomes isn't throwing them to him anymore.
Yeah.
But after he dropped the one last 2 weeks ago,
So they can show up and watch that game.
Yeah, show up. It's $8.
Yeah.
He's good for it,
Yeah.
right? Well, she's good for it.
Yeah.
More to the point.
Yeah.
But we hope to have Coach Myers here breaking in shortly. So Dan, let's talk about the Mid-Penn Conference. I think where we'll start is let's talk about top storylines first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get into some individual stuff. So we're going to break it down: Commonwealth, Keystone, Capital, Colonial. And I don't know what Dan's going to say. He doesn't know what I'm going to say. I think it's always best if we don't compare notes prior to the podcast. But obviously we're going to discuss things, and this is basically top storylines that we expect over the last 5 weeks of the season, and maybe advancing into the postseason as well. This is a time when teams are lined up. You're starting to see that separation, even though they're only a couple of games in division play. But I think the pecking order in each division is pretty defined already.
Yeah,
and obviously it's only going to get tighter, if you will. So let's start in the Commonwealth and give me your top storyline. What you're paying attention to down?
Pretty broad, but I think when you look at the 6A lay of the land, and you look at how hard it is to kind of gauge what St. Joe's is, and you look at LaSalle, who's been very good, but also their Central Catholic game, it looks like a blow up, but by all accounts, I haven't watched a game, but by all accounts, it was a closer game than the score indicated. Yes. It kind of gives you some inkling that Harrisburg, this has to be their best chance to, have a fighting chance at a state championship. I think maybe ever. I don't know. Maybe go back a little further, but are they an actual state title contender this year? Because I think even the year they made it, I think we all kind of deep down knew that was going to be a real tall task to beat that St. Joe's Prep team. This year, they have that real top flight talent. They're pretty deep, and they are just dominating these games and beating a team like Emotep week 1 says a lot about where they are as well. That's just mine. Is that like they are winning all the games they need to win, and I can kind of cheating and looking over your screen, and I kind of think your storyline bleeds a little bit into this.
It does bleed into it because I think what you're asking, what you're questioning, whether or not Harrisburg has a legit chance to usurp some of the, St. Joe's Prep or even LaSalle, Central Catholic, and get that W. Obviously, they'll meet Central Catholic prior to one of the Philly schools if either one of those makes it, which we expect. Then you have to have Messiah Mickens in the lineup. Mm-hmm. And Messiah Mickens has not played now for the last 13 or 14 quarters for Harrisburg. So the question is, A, when is Messiah ready? And B, if it's really late, if it's, say, district semifinals or district finals, come back from that leg injury, is he in shape? Mm-hmm. Is he ready to kind of put that push? Because, our district champ goes right to state semis.
Yeah.
So, you're going to get Pittsburgh Central Catholic, and if you're lucky enough to get a win, then you're going to get LaSalle or St. Joe's Prep likely in the championship game. So, is he going to be ready to play? Because I don't think they have a legitimate chance to win a title without Messiah.
No, for as good as PJ Dent's played, it's just like you want that senior leader. I saw Messiah on the sidelines. Nothing on his knees, no brace or anything. Seemed in good spirits, but I have to imagine that, especially with already playing Bishop McDevitt, already playing State College,
yes,
I think their biggest challenge left is a Cumberland Valley game. That's not going to be easy, despite Cumberland Valley's out there. I've said it all year that I think Cumberland Valley is a team that's going to play a lot of close games, and I could see them playing that game close too. But
I believe their defense. You told me their defense is legit.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Yep. After seeing them against CD. Yep.
But I just think that the smart play here, with already 5 wins banked, is to make sure Messiah Mickens, when you get him back, you are getting him back. You're not getting you're not just putting number 1 and number 2 back in the backfield and
Right.
handing him the football. Because I think in his career that's kind of happened before. When he was at
Yeah,
Trinity,
yeah.
he's come back early from injuries and he hasn't looked exactly the same. So I would imagine they're going to be very careful with him because we've seen it without him that they are able to win these regular season games without him. They will not be able to win against these top Pittsburgh Central Catholic, St. Joe's
Right.
without and for as much as we talk about the offense, I think you might agree with me too that what he provides as a pass rusher
Yeah.
is just as important if not more important, honestly, if not more important because of PJ Dent and what he's able to do as a running back. He can give you maybe, and PJ Dent, by the way, is Messiah Mickens' cousin. So that's,
Right.
You have kind of that Mickens Dent DNA in there a little bit. But yeah, I think that's the pretty clear ceiling definer is it when he comes back.
That was going to be my point.
Yeah.
I think defensively they have to have him. And again, PJ Dent's done a tremendous job, and I think he'll continue to do a tremendous job, however long he needs to be the featured back.
Yeah.
Whether it's all the way to the state final or not. But just having that presence off the edge for Harrisburg, who has obviously a very active defense, a very strong defense, just to put that kind of playmaker on the edge there, I think it puts them. If they have a fighting puncher's chance, it gives them a legit chance.
Yeah.
With him on the edge defensively. So that would be, yeah. So I agree with you all points.
Yeah.
All points. All right, let's move down to the Keystone.
I think we're gonna have the same one here. Maybe we won't, but
Are you cheating? Are you looking
my storyline is just Redland. It kind of bleeds in with Jamie Thomas. We'll talk about a little later, but
yeah.
A 5-0 Redland football team is something that I don't think many people are used to kind of hearing that sentence, but just an incredible job by Jamie Thomas. It's not like the schedule has been that easy either. They've played some, it's not like they're playing Bishop McDevitt or anything, but they're playing real solid football teams. They have a win over Lower Dauphin, who's clearly a good football team as well. Just probably the biggest surprise in the entire Mid-Penn this year.
I would agree with that. I obviously I put down two of them. That one is how long does this Redland run continue? It's been fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It really has been because I when I looked at their stuff, in the preseason, I think I don't know the coach might have picked them 7th in the division, something like that. And I thought at best this was 2 and 3.
Yeah,
at best, But the Jamie Thomas factor is real. The guys have bought into the culture change that we talked to Coach Thomas a few weeks ago about. And this is a confident group now. This isn't just like, oh, great,
you can see it. You can see it too.
It's just that the pace that those guys play under is just a little different.
Yeah,
it's different than what we've seen. And now that they've had success, they want more. They want more. So that's been tremendous. And the other one for me is how far Mechanicsburg rebounds. I think they made great strides. Did not expect them to be defeated by Lower Dauphin. I know it was a 1-point game, so it's close. But again, I think this is a team too that can build a team. Obviously, 10-0 last year during regular season. I really don't see why this can't be a 9-1 team this year. To be honest with you, so how quickly does Mechanicsburg rebound and kind of get that defense back on track a little bit, and move forward? So those are my two for the Keystone. I'm going to start up Capital. It's all about the Rollers. Can anybody foil the Rollers? I know there's a massive clash this week with Lime Mountain. If you were picking preseason favorites, Lime Mountain would have been 1, Steel High would have been 1A. That was basically how it broke down. So this is going to be a big litmus test for both teams. But it was funny because Susquehanna Township, beat Steel High 35-20 about a week ago. And honestly, I was more impressed with Steel High. Walking away from Roscoe Horn Field, I was more impressed with what Steel High's effort was. And again, a little bit fatigued in there in the fourth quarter, and Hannah obviously took advantage. But this was. And I've seen Steel High now 3 games. That was the third time I've seen them in 5 weeks.
They're getting better.
And they're getting better. And I'll tell you what, Steel High's front four are really good and nasty. They come to eat. I tell you that right now. I thought their corners did a tremendous job on a really talented set of wideouts for Susquehanna Township. And I thought the game plan was really strong by Coach Irby. Some of that goes back to last year on how Hannah sort of torched them.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, good coaches learn from that. And Coach Irby had a completely different scheme to kind of dare them to run the football. I was very impressed with Steel High, and sitting down there in 2A, I expect them to win districts, and it would not surprise me to see Steel High in a state semifinal or even higher.
Yeah,
it really wouldn't. So, regardless of what happens this week against Lime Mountain, it's not going to hinder either side really. But how far can this Rollers team go? Because I think preseason we weren't talking about this Steel High team taking a massive run in the late November or even early December.
Yeah.
And now that's in play.
Yeah, my storyline was just, do we have two potential state title contenders in the Capital Division, which is a crazy thing to say.
It is crazy.
But
yeah.
I think Line Mountain, this is gonna be a big litmus test for Line Mountain this week to see. I think even if they lose this game, if they are competitive with Steel High, I think that will say a heck of a lot.
Yep.
If it's a blowout, you might have to kind of reimagine their season. I still think they're in contention for that district title down there.
I agree.
But this was a real game that I think can tell you what the ceiling of this team is going to be. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it almost feels like, you know what, I want both teams coming out of here healthy.
Yeah.
Because the future is bright for both sides. It really is.
Yeah.
So, all right, Dan, your Colonial storyline.
Can Susquehanna Township do it? I just think this looks like the chance for Susquehanna Township. They, after an tumultuous offseason where Joe Heaton was let go, then reinstated on basically the behest of the football. Basically, the players essentially demanded that he be reinstated as the coach. They have responded in the way that you kind of needed to after, making that stand, right? So I think that this is a team that looks like it has the talent to get to Cumberland Valley, potentially. But you also have to get through Y missing, and you have to get through Twin Valley.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough road. It's not easy, but
I think this is as talented of a group as they've had at least in quite some time. There's just so much Division I talent on that team, and I count Torrin Evans among that Division I. I know that maybe it's an FCS type program, or an Ivy program, but that kid can help some team at the next level. You got guys like Jared Kern, who has Division I offer.
Yep.
You have Josh Nenjite, who's going to Temple. You got Yendor Mack going to UMass, I believe. There's a ton of talent. Zykeer Leaks going to Syracuse, and plenty of younger players that I imagine will have Division I offers in the future. This is the time that if they're going to get over that hump and get that, I believe, first district title, right? I don't think they've ever won a district title.
That's good. I don't think they have.
Yeah.
No.
So if they're going to get over that hump, this is, I think, the year that it's going to have to happen.
Yeah, UMass was in the house actually Thursday.
Yeah,
yeah, coaches were there checking them out. Obviously for Yender Mack, and I'm sure they were probably checking out Torn as well.
Yeah.
But all right, we have the guy on, so we are going to take let's diversion here. Head coach Brett Myers is on the horn, so we're going to dig in with Coach Myers, Twin Valley head coach here. Let's go. Okay, we want to welcome in Coach Brett Myers at Twin Valley High School. Coach, how are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see you guys, and always good to check in the Central PA area.
Yeah, we love talking. Obviously, we talk a lot about Mid-Penn Conference, but obviously we talk about the LL as well, York County, right around the district. I don't think you and I used to talk all the time during your stint in Middletown High School. We'll go over that in a little bit, but I wanted to ask you this question. I don't think you and I ever talked about this when you were closer to our neck of the woods, but my first question to you is, how did you go from Middletown to Arkansas State and work in the trenches there for 4 years?
So Palmer Hostler is a Central PA guy. He was recruiting the area, and he actually played for Coach Etsy, maybe Coach Etsy's first year or two as an assistant coach. So he was the recruiting coordinator at Arkansas State, and he reached out and coach gave me my name, and the rest is kind of history, where I end up down there and playing for 4 years.
Were you contemplating other places? Because we always talk to recruits when they commit. It's like, did you have a Final 3 or a Final 5?
No, I mean, it was, a lot of state schools. I was kind of a project because I was, 6'5", 250 pounds, kind of undersized weight-wise.
Right.
So the bigger schools didn't want anything to do with that. And when they offer a kid from Middletown a free education, you kind of go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, Coach, let's get into the gritty. I mean, I know we talked, again, a lot. I know the kids are the same, but I'm curious about how you're settled in now to Twin Valley. It's your 4th year. 2022, you took over the program. You're from that neck of the woods, really. You spent a good time at Pittston High School. I think it was 6 years at Pittston as as a head coach. Are the leagues that much different? Again, we're Mid-Penn centric, but between York County, LL now, which is a massive conference, I think 37 football teams. Mid-Penn has 38. So are the leagues any different as far as a head coach, your perspective?
No, I mean, I think both leagues are loaded with really good coaches. I mean, if you go down a list, there's some of them are who's who in Pennsylvania, great coaching, whether it's, Mid-Penn or LL. I mean, there's a ton of them, a ton of teams, like you said, 37 and 38. And, the one thing that happens when you get into these super leagues is you get the ability to play schools that are like you, so it's matchups that match up week to week and make sense to play. And, so in a lot of ways, there's a lot of similarities there between the Mid-Penn and the LL, these super conferences or super divisions that have formed.
Hey, Coach. So your Twin Valley Raiders are 5-0 right now. We know that because we monitor what they're doing because it's important as covering the Mid-Penn, particularly for a team that you guys ran into last year, right? The Susquehanna Township Indians. How much do you kind of monitor what's going on outside of your division when you're a team like you guys that clearly have aspirations to, get through the playoffs? And do you guys keep tabs on what Susquehanna Township's doing, what Wyomissing is doing? Do you do any scouting on them, or is it really, do you kind of run your program really one game, what's up on tap next week is all that matters, or is it a little bit of both?
If Eric Epler's not writing about it, we're not following it.
There we go. That's a perfect answer.
But we try to focus day to day.
Mm-hmm.
The Wyomissing, they're on our schedule, they're in our section.
Yeah.
So we get to see a little bit more of them because of going out scouting and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, if Eric's not writing about Susquehanna, I don't get much knowledge on them. So
there you go.
But clearly they're probably one of the best teams in the state, definitely in the district.
Yeah.
That's off the right. I'll give you the whole breakdown. You need it, Coach. You know what I mean? Again, you did comment on my sweet lid today. Obviously, in your honor, 5-0 Raiders. We all know about that collision course, Coach. I mean, again, you don't want to put the cart before the horse. You've still got Northern Lebanon coming up. You've still got, I believe, Donegal prior to the Week 8 clash with Wyomissing. I got a chance to talk with Coach Bob Wolfram on Sunday night. And, I always equate Wolfram's wing tee to Tim Rimfel's wing tee and how they, when people always ask me about that offense, and obviously fewer and fewer teams across the state are running it. It's still pretty prevalent in like the Philadelphia area. There's still a bunch of teams there, but, across the state, it's just, it's not really existent anymore. But how do you defend it? I mean, can you take us through how you try to defend against a wing tee where obviously it's pinpoint accuracy along the line of scrimmage? They use leverage so well to get you off balance. And I know it's a misdirection offense, but that can mean a lot of things as well when you're trying to defend it. What's the best way to try to defend the wing tee?
Well, first off, let's be honest. They are loaded with skilled guys.
Yep.
Their second string guys could easily be all league running backs. So Coach Wolfram's doing an unbelievable job there of, keeping everybody happy and somehow getting everybody to buy into team play because they got guys that could be all league if they're on other teams. But defending it, there's so much discipline involved because of it, with gap integrity and eye discipline. The other part is just getting lined up and realizing that they're gonna attack every flank on the field, and every flank's going to be stressed. And they're going to throw the ball just enough that if you fall asleep, they're going to score. It's not going to pick up a first down. It's going to score. And in the end, you just got to be able to get 11 guys to the ball that are very disciplined, especially with their eyes and their feet.
So, Coach, you coached your son Evan playing quarterback. He's now at Kutztown University. You now have your other son Lucas playing running back. Is it easier in some ways, do you think, to have a son to coach who's not playing quarterback, or is it still kind of, because I've always thought that the father son with the quarterback is always such an interesting dynamic because there's so much on their plate already, so it almost feels like they get a little more magnified than if they're playing another position. Has it been different at all? I mean, I'm sure it's still the best feeling in the world to coach your kids playing football, but what's kind of the difference coaching them at different positions?
Well, I mean, they're both amazing kids. They do a great job, and they're, a coach's delight and a father's delight. Just they're good kids. I mean, Evan was very different because of how smart he is and how much he loves football. And as a quarterback, it makes it easier whether he's your father. I mean, whether you're his father or not. When you have a smart kid who loves it, it's kind of easy to coach that attitude. And then, Lucas, his whole life was a quarterback until he hurt his shoulder and his freshman year. And I think that he's happy to be moving to a different position because he can be a little more physical in those spots. He definitely prefers that. But in the end, I got two great kids who love to talk ball and, have grown up around it and grown up around a lot of really good men who have helped them. And, so it's been pretty easy thus far dealing with them as players and sons. It's fun to watch Lucas, get his time right now.
Yep. How does Evan like Kutztown so far?
He loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it. He loves Coach Quarterman and Coach Clemens, and asked him the other day if he's in the right spot, and he answered 100%.
Awesome. That's always good to hear, especially, today when it's so easy to flip on a dime if you don't like something. So it's good to hear.
Coach, are there any coaches? I mean, obviously we mentioned Bob Wolfram, so now you're part of the LL and the merger. I think Coach Wolfram has like 377 wins. Doug Doms obviously is part of the LL now at Wilson High. He just joined the 200 win club. I don't think we got a chance to congratulate you. I think you hit 125 just recently, like week 2.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure. I know we're over 100. I just kind of stopped paying attention.
I think I have you between your time at Pottstown, Middletown. Obviously, was a hugely successful run there, in Twin Valley now. 31-10 since you went back, or Twin Valley. 127-70 overall. That's pretty damn good.
I mean, we had some good players.
That's what we do, Coach. We do the research. We add the numbers up for you. But to have these guys that have been around for 40, like 50 years with the program. Dom started in 1976 at Wilson, and obviously Bob's had a long tenure at Wyomissing. To have some of those guys to look up to, how does that? Do you pull from things that they do, or I don't know how much communication you have with them, but do you pull from sort of their years of experience and kind of implement that in your program?
Well, every Tuesday night, the Lancaster Lebanon Quarterback Club meets, and the coaches are there. And there's 37 teams, you said, and there's not 37 coaches there, but I can tell you every Tuesday night I'm going to see Bob Wolfram and I'm going to see Doug Doms.
Yep.
They're going to be there. And sometimes, it's not necessarily by communications. It might be just by watching them from a distance and seeing how they run a program that's both of them are very successful and clearly a little different than some of the others. But I got Coach Etsy's on our staff also, who's got 50 plus years of experience, so definitely look to some of the guys that have the experience to make sure that we're doing things the right way, not necessarily about winning games, but just running a program the right way that's respectable and, that people can be proud of.
So, Coach, like I mentioned before, you guys are 5-0 this year. Started 5-0 last year as well. You obviously win the playoff game and then lose the second game. What did you guys learn from that start last year, and how how does this team kind of compare in sort of how it's handling, such a strong start to the year? And what kind of things do you think you can do to keep the basically dominance up? Because you guys have
Yeah.
not played too many close games so far this year.
Well, I mean, this group of seniors have started their sophomore year. They started 7-0. Their junior year, they started 7-0. Now they're 5-0. So they clearly understand, what it takes to play good football and to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think wins or losses that we take, the experiences and try to grow from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the experiences of losing last year led to, producing the strongest team I've ever coached in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 guys squat 575. We had 6 guys squat over 500 pounds.
I just missed that last week at the gym.
Yeah. So, there's some stuff there that, some guys that have really understood that they need to get stronger and be able to play a more physical style late in November.
Well, Coach, I think that's great for us. I don't want to hold you up anymore. I know you're there during the school day. I will continue to wear my Twin Valley hat with pride. And obviously, we look forward to talking to you further down the road. Best of luck. Everybody stay healthy.
Yep.
And, if you got an old Twin Valley helmet that you're not using, just send that along. We'll put it right here in the studio. I promise. I won't
All right, we'll get it to you.
Coach, thanks so much. That was Coach Brett Myers, head coach at Twin Valley High School. Just an unbelievable start, 5-0. And obviously, we'll be looking forward to seeing how they handle their business down the stretch run. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Okay, we're back. That was head coach Brett Myers at Twin Valley High School. Great guy, great coach. And we certainly appreciate him giving us some of his time during the day. It looked like he was in a classroom.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. But I know he teaches, obviously, assistant principal there. Doing a lot of good things.
Could have got on the smart board.
He could have the whiteboard, yeah.
The smart board.
They call them smart boards now?
You didn't have a smart board, did you?
We still had that big hulking, what they used to call that? You put little clear things on it, and it projected onto the wall.
Oh no, a smart board was like,
what were those things called? Transparency board or something.
A smart,
overhead projectors. Yeah.
We used that, but the smart boards were like basically, it was basically a whiteboard, but it was an iPad. So like they.
Exactly. Yeah. We had. Yeah.
Well, smart boards they never even worked, so it was kind of a waste of time.
They were everywhere too.
Yeah.
I did a little sub teaching.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know how to turn it on.
You just
it was bad.
It's like, I'm just gonna talk to you guys.
Yeah. You know what? When I subbed, you know what it was?
What?
Movie time. I really turned the desk around. It's just movie time. Yeah.
Stand by me.
Well, the teachers would leave their lesson plans, and I would run through the lesson plans.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, the kids never left.
Yeah.
Like, it was just 4th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just you had them all day.
Oof.
And then finally, about 1 o'clock, I'm like, listen, the bus is coming at 3. Movie time. What movie you guys want to watch?
Nap time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to some superlatives here. Down the stretch we go. All right, so we talked top storylines inside the Mid-Penn Conference Division Cast. Let's talk a little bit about MVPs.
All right.
Let's do MVPs right now. I think there's some clear-cut guys. But again, a lot can happen down the end stretch. We're going to do some midseason all-star stuff in various sports. But we'll start with the Commonwealth. And who's your Commonwealth MVP so far?
I'm going with quarterback Michael Shank from Harrisburg. I've been really impressed with him. I caught up with him after the win over Cedar Cliff. He's 18-22 with 3 touchdowns. I just think it's been really impressive to watch how he handled last year, where he came in, was the starter, had a really tough game against a LaSalle team that we knew was good, but I don't think we knew how good they were. And he got hurt in that game, and Jalen Lewis came in the next week and basically took the starting job for the rest of the year. And Michael comes back this year, re-earns the starting job, and has been terrific this year. There's still, every now and then there's some, misfires and some off, but his arm is live. I think he's got the best arm probably in the conference. I think there's a chance he ends up a Division I quarterback just with his physical talent at throwing the ball. But I think he's really grown reading the game. I think he talked also a lot about growing as a leader. which he's seen on the sideline. And I think the biggest thing, which we saw a little bit, was he talked about growing, his mindset of when he makes a mistake.
Right.
That he said last year is like, I would make a mistake. Like in that first game, I would make a mistake and I would throw my helmet down and I would pout and then I would have no shot in the next play. And he said and I think you've seen there's a lot more maturity. He's still just a junior. And I think that having his ability to throw the ball is what's going to be able to get them to that point we were talking about earlier, which is the state championship game.
Yeah, that's a good call. My extension, it's really an extension of that is PJ Dent.
Mm-hmm.
I think having that, especially with Messiah Mickens going down, having that sort of security blanket and that rough rushing attack to kind of set up a lot of things in the passing game, I think has been invaluable for Harrisburg. So Dent would get my vote, but Connor Kulka's another guy, quarterback at State College, who's been really tremendous as well. But Shank is a really good call. But yeah, it's hard to move away from Harrisburg the way they've conducted themselves, over the first 5 weeks. I mean, it's hard to kind of look away from the Cougars and finding a guy on that squad. There's been some tremendous players. Obviously, Jalen Lewis has had a terrific year as an athlete. I mean, you could put that guy anywhere.
Yep.
So
and Elias Koch.
Elias Koch, obviously, abundantly talented. So yeah, there's a lot of guys you could pluck there, but my guy would be Dent. All right, Keystone Division. We're probably going to match up here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Hunter Strom, the linebacker and running back for Lower Dolphins.
Yeah, just a beast. And I think, again, I've said this before. I remember talking to him, like asking, "Are you going to play football?"
Right.
He's
committed. In May.
Yeah.
In May.
Because he's committed to play catcher. Was Virginia then? Now Mississippi State. That's a lot of NIL money. I think if you're playing baseball in the SEC, you're probably getting a decent amount of NIL money. That's a lot to risk playing football when you're not playing at the next level. And so you're wondering if he plays, is he gonna play the same way he's always played? And I think you've had that answer this year. He is a monster. I mean, he's been really good as a running back, but he has been a monster at linebacker. Even in that Redland game where they lost to Redland, he had 3 sacks, another couple tackles for loss. He's just so fun to watch at linebacker.
He's been tremendous, and even last year when we were talking, I made a statement. He's the best pure linebacker that we had.
Mm-hmm.
That's conference wide.
Yeah,
and that was last year. And we had a lot of good linebackers last year, but he's certainly proven it. I don't think there's any doubt right now in the Keystone who the MVP should be. After 5 weeks. All right, Dan. Let's move on to the Capitol. Who you got in the Capitol?
All right, my Capitol MVP is a longtime stalwart of this division. Basically, he's been good every year. Doesn't really get the hype because he's kind of far away, but I'm going Max Johnson. He's really taken on more of a role on offense this year.
Yeah.
As rushing the ball, but defensively, he just puts up video game numbers every year on the defensive line. You can talk about the schedule. You can talk about they haven't played Steel High or whatever yet. I don't care. When you're every single year putting up these numbers, it means you're physically dominating people in a way other people in this league aren't. And I just think he's probably reason number one line mount is where they are because they've just continued to win games with him playing.
Yeah, they have a lot of talent on that line mountain team. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because in week 1, I think week 1 or week 2, we got a box score for line mountain game, and I'm looking at him like, who's Johnson running the ball? Like he was like 7 for 89 and 2 touchdowns, rushing the football. I'm like, who's Johnson? And I'm like, holy hell, that's Max Johnson. Like they legitimately run him, and I mean, not a bad idea.
No.
Being a 6'5", 220 pounder or whatever he is. So that's been it's been a great asset for them, running the football. My guy is the guy under center for the Eagles. It's Caden Maurer. I think having that presence as a veteran quarterback is always so important.
Yeah.
To the offense. You could name Max Johnson. You can name Dalton Shadle. You could probably name a couple other guys at Line Mountain, who are doing great things. So, but I like the way Caden Maurer is just conducting that offense going. And again, it's going to be a whale of a game this week versus Steel High. Colonial, I think we both agree as well.
Torrin Evans.
Yeah, Torrin Evans. We don't need to talk about Torrin Evans for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
He's just so talented,
and it just feels like a machine right now. And
it does.
Yeah, like it's a well-oiled machine right now. He just knows what It's what you want to see out of a senior quarterback. Like he knows what he's doing, and he knows where he needs to get the ball, and he works with his players, and it's
Yep.
Yeah.
And he didn't, like he was getting, Steel High was getting a lot of pressure
Mhm.
on Thursday, and he was just tuck and run. I think he had 90 rushing yards to go. He has had way better passing performances. 4 of 11 and two interceptions doesn't sound very good.
Yeah.
But the fact is that they were playing the pass at 8 guys in coverage, 7 guys in coverage at least. And he come back from his first 3 passes, he had 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And he comes back and hits 2 big plays, surge in the second half, boom, 15-point win. That's the kind of leader that you want. Just short-term memory, forget it, boom, move on.
Yep.
So that's our MVP so far. A couple of under-radar guys, Dan, let's do this real quick.
Yeah.
How about you start a Commonwealth?
Yeah, I mean, my under the radar guy, maybe he's not that under the radar because you're one of your co-MVP picks, but
Yeah.
I think it sort of counts because he's State College in general kind of gets a little overlooked in these parts.
Right.
And it's Owen Kolka, just the sophomore quarterback's just been terrific for them this year. When one of the big questions is how they would replace Eddie Corkery. Turns out, don't doubt Matt Lindell. He's going to find ways to replace guys.
Yeah.
And he's found another one that's probably going to, I think, has State College set up to kind of be the favorites in the Commonwealth Division for the next couple of years after Harrisburg graduates this senior class.
I agree. I'm going to take Mark Lebo, the quarterback at Central Dauphin.
He's done a good job.
And, yeah, the fact that you have now a running quarterback as well, the guy who can tuck it and run, obviously the passing game is still, it's still a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
But just to have that kind of leadership, I think, the way they run their RPOs, the way they run their offense, you kind of need a fearless quarterback.
Do we know if he's if he's of the Lebo family at all?
I do not know. I don't.
Because I always wonder about that. Is when there's a good Lebo playing around here, you can always kind of want to see if you can trace it back to the.
And we'll have to find out.
Yeah,
we'll have to find that out. But yeah, I think, and obviously, Central Dauphin's still a work in progress as a whole too. But it's a big difference having a guy back there you can trust and make some plays, even on busted plays. And again, the stats don't rival some of the other players in the Commonwealth that would be up for this. But I don't think people expected Lebo to be this kind of leader so far.
No,
I think he's done a pretty darn good job for the Rams, who have struggled the last couple of years. So moving on to the Keystone, I have Noah Apple, the quarterback at Mechanicsburg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think many people expected a ton for Noah Apple, but obviously we talked about Chris Hakel being on staff.
Mm-hmm.
The former NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
It's always helps to have a guy like that coaching a newcomer to the position. Noah Apple was a wideout, converted wideout, and I think he's done a tremendous job for the 401 Wildcats. Who do you have?
Yeah, I went with sorry, I lost track of where he is. I went with Preston Burnett. He's not really under the radar, 3,000 career rushing yards, but
right.
But I think he's on the radar, and that Gettysburg has not won a ton of football games in the last few years. But I was at that Mechanicsburg-Gettysburg game, and he is a really, really, really good running back. A really good running back. That I think if he was on a team with and this is no shot at the Gettysburg offensive line.
Right.
But if he was on a team with kind of a deeper offensive line, a bigger offensive line, he would be pushing that 1,600 rushing yards again. He was just grinding out every extra yard. He's tough to bring down despite being small. He's super explosive. He's just a really fun running back to watch, and I don't think he gets named necessarily as one of the best running backs in the Mid-Penn. I think he absolutely is.
And he's got experience.
Yeah,
he does have experience, so he knows how to rush the football. But Gettysburg always seems to be in that sort of, it's kind of a feast or famine sort of thing with them.
Yeah,
and Burnett's been good for a really long time. Capital Division, I have quarterback Trevin Arnold for Newport. Again, Newport has been one of the big surprises in my mind over the first 5 weeks. And I think Trevin Arnold's done a really good job there. They got a couple nice running backs. Obviously, Justin Still's an athlete. Dalton Kratcher's there, too. And you've got some guys now that are Newport's kind of coming together. And they've been competitive. And I believe they're 3-2 or 4-1.
Yep.
So That's been good to see.
Yep.
For me.
I went with Newport. I just went Justin Still.
Yeah.
I think he leads the Mid-Penn in sacks, at least of reported numbers. Coaches, if you please get us your stats. That'd be nice. Justin Still leads the team in sacks. I think he also has a couple interceptions and a bunch of touchdowns as a receiver. He's just done it all for Newport. So, I think they've been a great story this year.
Colonial, I have Grady Hope, the running back for Big Spring.
Hard to say under the radar when he leads the Mid-Penn in rushing, but it's true. Like not many people would guess that.
Yeah, because I think he was if you had to name 4 or 5 running backs walking into the season in the Colonial ranks, Grady Hope probably would have been a little outside that group. So to me, to go from that to leading the thing, boy, that's a pretty darn good push. So I went with Hope.
Yeah, I went with Colton Keys from East Pennsboro. There's a lot of East Pennsboro guys, but he's kind of fit into that Aaron Angelo role where every game it feels like he's got 50 receiving yards and touchdown and 50 rushing yards and touchdown, right. And you're doing the nightly starts. You're like, I'm trying to figure out what position even class, because I know these guys. John Dennison will probably talk about a little later. They just have a really versatile way of playing offense where they just have guys do a lot of different things a lot of different times and it works. And I think he's been a key part. Him and Elliot Barone have been really big for them.
They have been huge, absolutely. And Coach Dennison just keeps getting those guys ready.
Yeah.
All right, Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Speaking of coaches, Coach of the Year. Who'd you go with in Commonwealth? Best job first 5 weeks.
I'm going Vince Niedermeyer. I think. I
agree.
I think that win over Cumberland Valley was just. I think that he has that defense playing really well. I know that they started the year kind of tough, but Hollingsburg's a tough game. State College is a tough game.
Hollingsburg's undefeated.
Yeah.
And ranked.
Yeah.
So
they to start the year that way, I think kind of got people off the scent that this is actually a pretty good defense. And going into Cumberland Valley, doing what they did, shutting out a CD's team, which I know it's not an elite CD's team, but shutting them out is tough. I think they've got enough weapons that it's tough. They're just playing teams tough, and I think that Altoona, they have a big roster, but they don't have that top flight talent. There's no what was his name? The defensive tackle, Givens or whatever.
Kevin Givens.
Yeah, Kevin Givens. They don't have any of those guys on this roster right now, but they've got a lot of guys that are playing really hard for Vince. So,
yeah, Keystone. I think we both agree.
Yeah,
Coach Thomas.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest pick. And there have been some other good coaching jobs. It's
the easiest pick, but I will give a nod to Josh Burley too, and lower it off,
and Dave Heckert again too, because it's like they did I know they were really good last year, but they did lose a lot of talent and they're still 4-1. So you got to give him some credit as well.
Absolutely. Capital Division. I went with Todd Rothermell at Newport for some of those reasons I just talked about. Mm-hmm. It's been a couple lean seasons for Newport. They've struggled with numbers. They've struggled with injuries. Kratzer, I remember going down 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And kind of just losing that rushing attack, and every game was just such a struggle.
Yeah.
So now to be in position they are with some confidence. A lot of that is coaching, and Todd Rothermell's been doing it really well for a really long time.
Yeah, I went with he was close, but I'm giving it to Andrew Irby. I just think
it's a good pick.
I think that I think a lot of people assumed once Alex Irby graduated and Andrew Irby Jr. graduated, that entire senior core of some of the winningest players in the history of the state graduated, that Steel High would kind of fall off back in the sunset a little bit. And they have not done that at all. I thought he did an excellent job last year. But this year, I mean, they lost more players last year too. And this year they have just kept things going. And to me, the reason I picked him is they are doing it in pretty dire circumstances without having a home football field. They're playing,
that's not easy.
Yeah, they're playing all their. They don't know. Basically, every week is like where we're playing Susquehanna, playing at Central Dalton. It's like they have had a lot of adversity. The Rollers always kind of have to face some adversity, I feel like. But I've just been really impressed with what he's gotten out of his players.
I thought Kurt Jarrell would be like a special teams coach at Ohio.
Yeah.
His son went there. Now it's
I kind of wonder.
Duquesne, but
I kind of wonder if he might have, but he decided, with kind of the stuff going on in the program, he wanted to stay and kind of help the program.
Yeah.
Keep some stability there. While
He's in the right spot.
Yeah.
He's in the right spot.
Yeah.
All right, last and certainly not least, Colonial Division. I have John Dennison from
Yeah.
East Pennsboro. I think we both can agree on that.
Yeah. There are a few. Count the coaches on your hand that have done a better job over the last few years than John Dennison.
I can't.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, probably Calvin Everett. You're talking about teams that run deep into the postseason every year. But Coach Dennison, whatever he has in front of him, he gets max effort out of everyone on that roster.
And he's not like your typical, like, it doesn't seem like he has that sort of like that, that like fiery, he's very kind of laid back, it feels like.
It feels to me, I don't know, the stare gets me.
Yeah.
Like it would seem like the stare from Coach Dennison, it would be nasty.
It's more like this is like
right.
Like what he means. He's a good nonverbal communicator.
Yeah, I think he only has to say things once.
Yeah.
For those guys to get it and move forward.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, that'll do it for this edition. We want to thank again Brett Myers, head football coach at Twin Valley High School, for joining us. And obviously, week 5 in the books. We're looking forward to the second half of the regular season. Please get out there. Bring your umbrellas this week. It's supposed to rain. But get out there and watch some football. Support the kids. Support the band members. Buy a hot dog or two or a walking taco, which I still say I invented, in 86. I know Wikipedia says something else, Dan, but you know what? You can't believe Wikipedia all the time.
I wasn't Wikipedia. It was a distinguished
Wilson Westlong, Al's Field is where it was born. I'm telling you.
All right, we'll have to do a long-form story on that.
All right, we'll dig into that one for next week. All right, appreciate your time. Obviously, as always, check out PennLive during the week for previews and rankings, standings, and all the good stuff. And come back next week.